The Department of Public Health and Human Services is pleased to bring you Aging Horizons. Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, fraud, legal issues, veterans benefits, and caregiving. Aging Horizons is a program dedicated to inform and prepare Montanans on these timely issues, making a difference to you and your loved ones. Here now is today's program host.
Hi folks, today on Aging Horizons we're going to be talking about heating. You know, it's already the end of October, it's cold and blustery outside, and we need to make sure that everyone in Montana is warm and toasty this year. We're going to be talking with some great folks that have some great information because you might need a little bit of assistance. We want to make sure you have all the answers, so stay with us.
No one likes to have to ask for help. It's a courageous act.
Sarah Solomon, Energy Share Coordinator.
Our clients work hard, sometimes at 2 or even 3 jobs, but still struggle to keep the heat on. They're doing everything they can. They're proud and they don't give up. I feel inspired and honored to work together with these Montana families.
To donate, call 888-779-7589 or go to EnergyShareMT.com. Energy Share, you can help your neighbor stay warm.
45 years, 2 packs a day. That's like $80,000. I thought I was just hurting myself until I fell asleep in a chair with a cigarette. The whole house went up. I lost it all. I knew smoking was expensive, but I never thought it would cost me everything.
Every 65 seconds, someone is affected with Alzheimer's or other dementias. Many become isolated at a time when help is most needed. If you or someone you love is affected, help is available, both for people with memory loss and their caregivers. Memory loss can feel frightening, but you are not alone. Call the free 24/7 Alzheimer's Association helpline, 800-272-3900, for guidance and support.
This is Bill. He just received his new Medicare card and is following some simple rules to protect himself from fraud. He knows to never give out his Medicare, Social Security, or bank number over the phone. And this is Nancy. She knows that to detect any problems, she always reads her Medicare summary notice or Medicare Advantage EOB to make sure the billing is correct. Both Bill and Nancy know that anything suspicious can be reported to Montana SMP at 1-800-551-3191.
Hello everyone and welcome to Aging Horizons, brought to you by the Department of Public Health and Human Services. I'm your host, Kimmy Everman, and as I said, we're going to be talking warm this show because it's chilly outside, and we want to make sure that everybody is comfy and warm in their house. We have a great expert with us today, Sherry Shepard. Sherry, welcome, and you are an energy services specialist.
That's correct.
Right?
Yes.
And you work with what we call LIEAP, which is a acronym, of course, because we at the state love that. But LIEAP, I think lots of folks know about it because it's been such a wonderful program for so many people for so long. Tell us a little bit about it.
Okay. Well, first I'd like to say thank you for having me
and
and letting me share this important program with our people out there. The Low-Income Energy Assistance Program helps people pay their winter heating bills. It'll pay a portion of their winter heating bill. So it covers any fuel type, wood, coal.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, propane, natural gas, electricity. So whatever your primary heat source is, that would be where the benefit would be applied. And if you're determined eligible, the benefit goes directly to the fuel vendor, and it'll be applied to your account.
So you don't have to write a check and all that kind of stuff. It goes straight there and you know it's paid.
That's right.
That's
yes.
super.
Yeah. People can apply from October 1st through April 30th, so there's plenty of time to apply. I do encourage people to apply early so that they can start utilizing their benefits. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So does that mean that even though we've passed October 1st, they can still apply?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you don't have to buy October 1st?
Nope. October 1st, clear up until April 30th.
Super.
Yeah.
And so what are there income guidelines or anything like that?
There are income guidelines. The income guideline for a household of one is $26,616, and for a household of two is $34,805.
Okay. And what we know, or what the information that you've given me, is that the average benefit is almost $500 annually, $490. That could be pretty helpful for a family, especially that was struggling to pay a fuel bill. Yeah,
and so what it does is that it frees up other funds for the household, for the family, to spend on medication or food, or even to go have fun.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I think it's important for us to remind the audience that not every single penny always has to go to a bill. We still want you to enjoy yourself and have a good life, live your best life, and this is one of those great programs that can help a person do that.
Right.
Okay, so how does a person actually apply for this then, Sherry?
Okay, so anyone who was on the program last year automatically receives a LIEAP application through the mail. And we call them the preprint. It's already filled out. We just ask that they go through and make sure the information's accurate. The local agency that the household works with is listed on the pre-printed application.
Okay. And before we go further, let's talk about that for a second. The person's best contact is probably that local, correct?
Yes.
So when you have your application, taking note of that number is probably pretty good. And I mean, I always think it's better for a person to go locally anyway, because that advocate's going to know a whole lot more about the circumstance there.
Correct.
Right?
Yes. We encourage them to work with their local agency, and there's local LIEAP offices across the state. We have 11 of them.
Oh, wow.
And so they can also access the LIEAP application on our website.
So we'll put that up.
Okay,
we'll put that up because then people have a chance to write it down. So they can look at it there.
Yes,
Great.
And the local agencies are listed on our website as well.
Oh,
so there's a map. When you pull up the website, there's a map of the state of Montana, and you just click on whatever county you're in, and it'll bring up the local office. So it's easy to access. It's easy to get the information that you need.
Okay. So if I were to qualify for LIEAP, are there other benefits that I might be aware of?
There are other benefits. So say your furnace goes out and it's 30 below, or any time during the winter your furnace isn't working and you're eligible for LIEAP, you've received a LIEAP benefit, we potentially can replace that furnace for you. And if you're eligible for LIEAP, then you're also automatically eligible for weatherization, and you would be put on the priority list. And then we have our energy auditors go out and audit your home and find places where you could save energy with weatherization.
So basically, all the way around, it's a pretty good deal.
Yes,
yeah.
yes it is.
When's the last day to apply?
The last day to apply is April 30th of 2021.
Okay, but we want you to apply right away. We don't want you to wait till the last day. We want you to do it right away.
Yeah, and I would like to mention that some people don't apply because they think that other people are more in need of the funds. We never run out of funds, so the funds are always available. So don't think that you're taking money away from somebody else who may need it more. So I just highly encourage you to apply.
Thank you. And Sherry, that's a good point, because I think we know that a lot of times we have folks who think, I can make it.
Right.
I can get through this, when really there's no reason to have to even do that. Just apply.
Right.
And try to, because as I always say, the worst they can say is no, right?
That's right.
They're not going to take away your birthday.
Right. Yes. And just one more thing, I just want to mention that homeowners and renters can apply. So even if you are, rent your home and the heat bill isn't in your name, you can still apply, and we'll reimburse you based on submitted receipts.
Sounds great. Well, folks, if that isn't good enough, we got more for you. So don't go anywhere. Stay with us.
I have so many questions about power of attorney.
Well, some powers of attorney are for finances and others are for healthcare decisions.
A power of attorney designates an agent who would make decisions on your behalf.
While making a power of attorney, you have the ability to control your agent's power.
You also have the ability to decide when that POA would take effect.
Wait, am I giving away all my rights?
Power of attorney isn't a license to make any decision for you, just those that you've specified.
Your agent should be somebody that's working in your best interest, but it should also be somebody that you would trust.
What if they try to abuse their power?
Protective measures like third-party accounting, secondary signatures, defined spending and gifting limits can help protect against financial exploitation. An agent's powers can always be limited by a customized power of attorney, and they can be revoked by you or the court if the power of attorney is abused.
So carefully drafted estate planning documents can help ensure that your finances are monitored, but not abused.
If you or someone you know is being exploited, please report to Aging Services Bureau at 844-277-9300 or the Legal Service Developer at 1-800-332-2272. This message sponsored by the DPHHS Aging Service Bureau.
I take care of my wife at home. When I found out training was available, I said, sign me up. It's made a huge difference.
When my husband was injured at work, it was life-altering. The classes taught me that it's okay to grieve, to ask for help, and to better cope as a caregiver.
My dad lives 4 hours away, and the Powerful Tools classes taught me that it's okay to ask for help. I highly recommend them.
To find out about this course for caregivers, go to powerfultoolsforcaregivers.org.
It's amazing the difference a little training can make.
Questions about Medicare and other types of insurance? Contact the State Health Insurance Assistance Program office to get answers to questions like, what is the difference between Medicare and Medicaid? And how do you decide if you need Medicare supplemental insurance? This insurance counseling program is not a sales program. It is available to provide answers to your insurance questions. For more information, call the State Health Insurance Assistance Program office at 1-800-332-2272. Hello everyone and welcome back to Aging Horizons. We're having a discussion today about heating because it's cold outside and everybody wants to stay warm. And with us for this segment is Rachel Haberman. Rachel, welcome.
Thank you.
And Rachel, you're the executive director of Energy Share,
right
here in Montana, and very important. You know, we joke, you and I, that we talk about the same thing every time, but if it isn't broken, let's not fix it. You have
right.
You have a lot of great information, so let's dive right in.
Okay.
So tell us what Energy Share even is.
Okay, so it's a nonprofit organization that operates statewide in Montana, and our main purpose is to help Montanans who are facing loss of heat or lights in their home due to circumstances beyond their control, and they have no money in the bank. They can't pay that bill.
Sure.
So we really focus on those emergency situations.
Okay, so let's set the stage for our audience. We just talked about LIEAP, and that's your sort of ongoing.
Exactly.
And Energy Share is if you find yourself with your back up against the wall and something bad has happened.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
But before we move on, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the history because I think it's awesome. You guys have been doing this since 1983.
Right. Right. A long time.
And really have helped so many people in the state. I just think that's pretty great.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's talk about the differences then between Energy Share and LIEAP.
Okay.
Just so we can make it real crystal clear.
It is. It's important. So we both organizations help with home energy bills.
Right.
Energy Share really focuses, on those emergency situations. So it would be someone has a disconnect notice or they're low on propane in their tank, and they don't have the money and nowhere else to turn.
Right.
They may have applied for LIEAP and either not qualified for LIEAP, or maybe they applied in November and now it's April and they're in trouble. Then they can apply for Energy Share. And then Energy Share's assistance is a lot more limited in that we usually only help people once every 10 years or so, depending on the circumstances. With LIEAP, you can get assistance every year that you qualify with their eligibility guidelines. Energy Share also looks at the individual circumstances. We're a lot smaller than LIEAP, so we ask people to explain what their situation is so we can understand it better and make sure that they get the help that they need.
So it's really, in that situation, it's very individual to the person.
Absolutely, yes.
So there's some rules, but basically everybody's got a different story, and it's okay to come and tell that story.
Right, and we can look at that. So.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, so what should you apply for first, LIEAP or Energy
Good question.
Share?
We actually ask people to apply for LIEAP first, and then if they, like I said, if they don't qualify for it or if they need additional help, they can apply for Energy Share.
Okay, yep, makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so I always love this question because I think it's a question that so many people are confused about. Is it true that they can turn off your lights and your heat? They can turn off your lights and heat in the wintertime?
It is true,
Okay.
yeah. So the regulated utility companies, and that would be Northwestern Energy, Energy West, Montana, Dakota Utilities are the main ones.
Sure.
Can disconnect an account for non-payment in the wintertime. They need to go through the Montana Public Service Commission to get permission first.
Okay.
And between November 1st and April 1st is we have the winter moratorium, and during that time, if a household has certain circumstances, like their income is at or below the federal poverty guidelines, someone 62 or older is in the household, someone disabled is in the household, or if there's a recipient of a public assistance program in the household, then the utility company can't shut them off.
Okay.
So.
And how do they know if that's true or not? Do they check?
Yeah,
what happens?
it is the customer's responsibility to let the utility know that.
Okay.
But if the utility is exploring the possibility of a disconnect, then they might send the customer a letter asking if one of those circumstances exists in the house.
And let's just be really, really clear. Don't wait.
Exactly.
Right? Don't wait until everything is falling down
Mm-hmm.
around your ears. If you think you're having an issue, do it right away. Call right away.
Exactly.
Correct?
Stay in touch with your energy provider.
Well, and the thing is that they're not going to know you're having an issue,
Right.
and you don't know that they won't help you out unless
Right.
you discuss it with them.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
So you said that regulated companies can do that. Are there other types of utilities?
There are. Electric cooperatives and propane and fuel oil vendors are self-regulated, so they have their own policies and rules. I tell people, stay in touch with your energy provider, let them know what's going on, find out what the possibilities are, and always apply for help, because that's why LIEAP and Energy Share are here. We want to help people.
So we just have about a minute left. Rachel, how does a person sign up for this or apply?
The same way as with LIEAP. The same offices handle both LIEAP and Energy Share applications, so it's through the Human Resource Development Councils. If you don't know where that agency is for your area, you can visit the LIEAP or Energy Share website.
Okay, we're going to put that on the screen.
Okay.
And then that way people, because we want to make sure that if they know about it, folks can find it.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
It's been so great having you on so many times, Rachel, and we're so happy that this is a program that is even available. It's a very, very important one, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
I mean, folks, and when we say don't wait until the last minute, we really mean it. Because
Absolutely.
I think one thing I've learned from interviewing y'all from Energy Share is that you're so open and you're so willing to hear what people are trying to tell you, and you're always looking for a way to solve the problem,
right?
And not just a way to cut someone's lights, right?
Right.
So,
we want to support people.
Exactly. So, well, folks, we have a little bit more information, but it's pretty important. We're going to talk about weatherization next, so stay with us.
I think the most pleasant surprise when we turned 65 and signed up for Medicare Part B was finding out about our Welcome to Medicare preventive visit.
It was free, and it gave us the opportunity to visit with our doctors and establish a plan for our health going forward.
They reviewed our medical history, measured our height, weight, blood pressure, and counseled us on other risk factors.
To learn more about Medicare's free or low-cost preventive and wellness benefits, call your local SHIP counselor at 800-551-3191. I mentioned it's free, right?
Twice.
Elder abuse is a growing problem, and it's happening right here in our Montana communities. At least 1 in 10 older adults are victims of physical or emotional abuse, financial exploitation, or neglect. To get help or report elder abuse, call your local area agency on aging or Adult Protective Services at 1-844-277-9300.
I was the last guy you'd expect to get diabetes. I was a competitive runner and I always took care of myself. So when I was diagnosed, it kind of threw me. But it's really encouraging to know I'm not alone with it. There are a lot of other people going through the same things as I am. It takes some effort. You have to keep after it. Exercise, meds, and diet are the key. But there are a lot of folks who want me to succeed. Diabetes is not the end of the world. With effort and attitude, you can have a normal life.
In 20 years at an electric utility, I've seen the hardships many of our neighbors face with high winter heating bills.
Ross Holter, Flathead Electric Co-op.
That's why I donate to Energy Share of Montana. I just hate the thought of senior citizens, and young kids especially, being cold in the winter. Donate to Energy Share. Help your neighbor stay warm.
To donate, call 888-779-7589 or go to EnergyShareMT.com. Energy Share, you can help your neighbor stay warm.
Hi folks, welcome back to Aging Horizons. We're having a great discussion about energy today and staying warm this winter and reaching out if you need to reach out for a little bit of assistance. This segment we have with us Jonathan Ballou, like the bear as he said. And Jonathan, you're the Energy Programs Director at Rocky Mountain Development Council. That's here in Helena.
Sure.
And you're going to speak to weatherization. Which is awesome.
Yeah.
So what is it?
So weatherization, it's really sort of tied in Montana to the LIEAP program. As Sherry said, when you fill out your LIEAP application, it's an automatic referral to weatherization.
Oh, nice.
Which the Human Resource Development Councils that are going to deal with your LIEAP application, they deal with weatherization too. So it's all kind of a big happy family. So there's nothing additional that you have to do other than your LIEAP application.
How nice. I mean, that just makes it as easy as it can be. And I would expect, I mean, let's talk about what weatherization even is.
Yeah, so essentially what we're trying to do is to bring down the energy use in a home.
Okay.
And the way that we do that is really tailored to the specific home.
Sure.
So,
and I suppose the person's lifestyle.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we will have our energy auditor go out to the home and specifically look at where that specific home can reduce its energy use.
Okay.
And we do it for mobile homes, we do it for multifamily homes, for stick-built homes, as Sherry said, for renters, for owners. So pretty much everyone is able to receive these services.
To access that service.
Yeah.
And so, okay, so you talked about your energy auditor going to the person's home. What kinds of things, Jonathan, are they looking at?
So we have some fancy pants tools that are very, very cool, and those will tell us how drafty the home is.
Oh.
And, and then visually we'll look to see how much insulation is there. It's not uncommon for us to find walls that have no insulation in them, or attics that have way too little, or the drafts and things like that. And so we'll be looking to see where we can add that insulation, where we can seal it up. Okay. We'll test the furnace and the water heater to make sure they're working properly and repair them if they're not. So it's really tailored to the individual home. It's not sort of one of these things where we go to every single home and everyone
You don't have a checklist, 5 things and we're done. Okay.
Yeah, so it is tailored to the specific energy needs of that home. And like you said, the lifestyle and the behaviors of the clients.
Right, because I think it's important to remember that even though we're looking to reduce our energy use and stuff, people want to be warm, and they have different ways of doing that. I know when I was a kid, it was put on a sweater.
That's a classic.
It is.
Yeah.
However, that isn't always the only thing, and this is why the weatherization is so important.
Yeah, and houses really are complex. You might have two houses that look the same next to one another, but they will operate differently, and that's why we need to take a tailored approach to each individual home.
Great.
And to each individual client, because we'll educate them on how they can operate their home better.
Well, and we say it so often, education is power. And that just gives you a better way to move forward, to look for things that could be helpful to you.
Yeah, and there's just such a ubiquitous nature. We all occupy buildings and
Right.
we all use energy.
Right.
So everyone stands to save a little.
Absolutely. So are there any other benefits besides the lower utility bills?
Yeah, and to be honest, the lower utility bills can be somewhat minor.
Compared to everything else?
Compared to everything else.
Okay.
There's comfort issues, there's indoor air quality issues. When we're done, the home will operate much better. The indoor air quality will be better. The occupants won't need to deal with thermal stress quite the same way if there was always that back bedroom that was freezing in the winter and hot in the summer.
Yep.
Those are the things that we're tackling by trying to reduce the energy use, but the home is more comfortable. The air is better in the home. So there's a lot to it. And reduced energy bills is lovely.
Well, that's always nice, yeah.
But it's not the only part of it.
Wow. Well, yeah, I'm glad that you said that, Jonathan, because I guess I'm thinking about how everyone has their own comfort level, and how nice is it to be able to work within that and still help that person save money and have a more comfortable existence.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what other resources are available to help?
So essentially, your Human Resource Development Council is going to be the one that you want to talk to. And the LIEAP.mt.gov, you can see who your Human Resource Development Council is. And they're all separate nonprofit organizations. So they all do LIEAP, and they all do weatherization, and they all do energy share, but some of them run Head Start, some of them run senior centers.
That's right, yeah.
Any number of things. So they're good people to be in contact with because they know the community and they know what services are available.
And again, Jonathan, what a very perceptive remark, because they do know what's going on in the community, and they do have a handle on all kinds of different benefits that a person might need
certainly
and want to look into. Well, Jonathan, I clearly I love Energy Share and weatherization and everything. In our last minute, will you what's your favorite part about, because you're clearly like your job.
Yeah, I think it's the connection with the people, and we get to educate them on something that usually they're not quite aware of.
Sure.
And they can learn all sorts of things about their house and why it does this and why this is uncomfortable and what that smell is. It goes on and on. So to make that connection and to teach them not only how they can bring their energy use down, but how they can be more comfortable in their home is really a pleasure.
Yay. Well, it's absolutely a pleasure having you here, telling us all about this, and we thank you for all your service to the community.
Absolutely.
And folks, don't be cold. Go ahead, reach out, and there will be something there for you. For Aging Horizons, I'm Kimmy Everman. Thanks for watching.
Special thanks to the Department of Public Health and Human Services for their continued support. Hosts on Aging Horizons are program specialists at the Montana Office on Aging. Production facilities provided by Video Express Productions. For more information about Aging Horizons, call the Department of Public Health and Human Services toll-free at 800-332-2272.